Peace, peace. This is off code, uncomfortable truths. Tonight we're gonna have a conversation with my famos, just chopping it up about whatever comes to our mind. So y'all just sit back and listen to it. You dig?
Tell me what's wrong. Why you crying? You know why you crying. Why you crying? Cause what? Made you sad? What made you sad? Cause they what? The kid. What did she say to you? Tell me what she said to you. They didn't want to be like what? Why don't they want to be They didn't like watch people.
I think we should have a new plague that gets rid of just black people. Because the niggers are ridiculous. And they just need to go away. That's about it. Hate black people. But I'm not racist, so.
That our children live in, not the ideal one that we want them to live in, not this wonderful world that we pray that will come here one day, but the real world that they have to live in. You want to know why they're acting so crazy? You want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing? Because we have not prepared them to live in this real world. We have sent them through 12 years of school teaching them this dumb stuff that doesn't work, and when they go out and try to apply it and get killed for it, we are not there to help them through. We are not there. We fade away on them. Somewhere around about ninth grade, we start talking about I can't control him. I can't do nothing with him. Get out of my house if you don't do what I tell you to do. And we abandon them to the mean streets and then cry because they get murdered. We need you to begin to think. We really need you to begin to think. No one has ever asked us to think before. Think about that. Think about it.
Off code, uncomfortable truths. Man. So I got a question for the panel. What do you guys think about that clip I just played?
Very intense, but it pretty much depicts black life and the realities we face and the contradictions that we live.
I agree with you. What about you, Courtney? Seems like Courtney.
Sorry about that. I'm here. Um, I would agree. I think that it speaks to things that we don't really like to think about, things that we don't talk about. Um, But we need to talk about it, and we need to think about it, and we need to acknowledge that these are the things that we have to deal and contend with. So, my thoughts on that.
I agree with both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? The question becomes, why do y'all think that these topics are so taboo, even though they're reality? You know what I'm saying? Why do y'all think that is?
It's just denial, I guess. Who really has a game plan of dealing and combating with all of these issues. That's why you have people on these hangouts, not us, but people on hangouts and social groups and stuff. I mean, they'll battle over religion and this, that, and the other, but who wants to actually talk about what the real problem is? And I mean, really try to really strategize and come up with ways to really deal with things that really face us, whether it be at work or, you know, career, whatever.
Hmm. That's some real shit. I agree with that. It's like it's almost to the point where it seems like we engage in these conversations simply because we don't have answers. We don't have a game plan. However, we will uh, behave as if we do. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's more counterproductive than it'll ever be productive because we're not facing these fucking issues.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What say you, Courtney?
I agree. I think that it would force us to actually have to ask ourselves certain questions, and maybe consider that the things that we talk about and the things that we debate about and the things that we say that we stand firmly on, those things are not going to work. They're not going to get us anywhere. That's why it's kind of like going in a circle. You know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
how can I forget what it's called? You know how if you were a kid and you had a hamster, and the hamster runs in that little
A little
um
wheel, yeah.
yeah, the hamster wheel. It's like that.
Hmm.
And it's like the same things all the time, every day, but it's really not getting us anywhere. And it's just like running that circle. You have to actually try to implement things that will work, that are going to bring about some type of a change or some type of a difference, even if it's not in your lifetime. And like Princess pointed out, I think these hangouts and some of these groups and some of these types of discussions are just a way of escaping, or a way of kind of giving you this false sense of feeling like you're doing something, but deep down inside, you're really not. But when you jump in the hangout and you talk and about certain things, and you raise up a black power fist, or you go to an event, like you feel like you're doing something that means something, but you're really not. So
Man, I could not agree more. It's like when I first heard about the Black Power phenomenon, right? I don't remember the guy's name, but he was some kind of politician, and it kind of seems like it went from us talking about, well, him describing what he thought Black Power was, what it would look like, and this is what we need. And then you got Stokely Carmichaels, who came up and kind of made it famous and said, we need Black Power. Now it's kind of like it's actualized, like we got it and shit. All of us just saying Black Power. You know what I'm saying? And that's asinine than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why you think we do stuff like that? Just make it seem like Black Power is right here with us right now.
well, I mean, I think when you talk about those people, when you're talking about Stokely Carmichael and people like that who lived at that time when they needed to hear that, you know what I mean? we needed to hear that. And that was just kind of become some cliche thing. There was actual things attached to that. There was actual some kind of progress. It may not have been, in leaps and bounds, but they actually had some type of strategy and some type of ways of getting things done.
Mhm.
So I think it was a rallying cry. I think it was something that unified us as a people at that time. But now it doesn't even have the same kind of connotation. It doesn't have the same meaning. The things that happen as a result of them saying that and raising that fist then, those things don't happen now. It's like a fad, and it's something
Mhm.
that goes along with that fad, raising the fist, Black Power. It's just something people say, and they don't mean it. They don't even really have any power or energy behind it when they say it. It's just something that sounds good to say. Um, so I think that's the main difference between when it was being used then and how it's being used now.
Mm. That was profound right there, Famo. Because I agree with you. It's kind of like, when they were talking about, I think it was, what was the motherfucker's name who was against the Black Panthers? What was his name? The white guy. Hoover? Was that his name? Last name Hoover?
J.
Say it again.
J. Edgar Hoover,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. J. Edgar
he,
Hoover,
he headed up the FBI. I mean, yeah, and he's
So
really I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's like, so when he found out about that shit, he wrote some shit. And what he said was, I'm skipping over all of the bullshit. He said that this was a national security risk right here. And why did he say that? Because they had a fucking food program for the babies. And then you
Well,
fast forward.
I mean, to be honest, he didn't lie. It was a national security risk. It was a risk to the security of the nation at that time. He didn't lie. He didn't lie. Um, and there are a lot of things that we consider to be national security risks because they are a risk to the people of this who established this nation and who run this nation.
Mm,
It's a risk to their security. So,
mm,
when we hear that term, we think, okay, well, a lot of us who don't know, not you and I, or maybe some of the people who will be listening, but we think that there's actually things being implemented to keep us safe, right, and secure. But the truth of the matter is, these are things being implemented so that the people who run and control this nation will be secure. That's what a national
mm,
security risk is. So he didn't lie. It was a national security risk. It was basically demonstrating that these group of people actually got together and established something for themselves. And if they could actually, get together and have a program that was effective, and it wasn't just in one place, it was, basically something that was being implemented all over the country, then what else could they do if they come together and
mm.
strategize? And they're not afraid and they're proud. So he was doing his job.
Oh hell yeah, he was on his motherfucking job. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want his white card to be revoked. You dig? He like, man, I gotta get on these niggas. You know what I'm saying? But I brought that up because you know when you think about progress, right? It's almost like the narrative is most of the time that as groups get older, or you have this group, you got your grandparents, then your parents, then you, then your kids, you think progress, right? Now based on that shit, where's the progress with us? 2016. What the fuck are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That even it should over, you know what I'm saying, over fucking bear what our ancestors did, right? But it's not. We ain't even in the game. Why you think that is, Famo?
I think because many of us live under the illusion that we actually have made some progress, um, and that we as a people have accomplished some success on a certain level. We
Hmm.
see a lot of people who are affluent celebrities, not realizing that that's all a part of this big plan. You know what I mean? It's not really, it's done by design. It doesn't mean that we've accomplished a certain level of success. It just means that they want to give you the impression that we have. That way you really don't feel the need to have to do the things that they did back then. We're not really going through things that are different. What they went through was more overt. The things that
That's right.
we go through are subtle. So because it's subtle and because you're not really thinking on a deeper level, you think that you actually making progress, that you're leaps and bounds ahead of somebody like a Stokely Carmichael, or you know whoever you want to think of. Um, and we're kind of disillusioned with that. So I believe that's why we can't really get to a place where we could even establish things on a basic level.
Hmm. Let me ask y'all this: do you think that our connections with the words within this language in this society, whether it be so-called Ebonics or Standard English, do you think that the language prevents us from coming up with ideas that are more sophisticated than what we think about now? Do y'all think that?
Absolutely.
Expound on that, Princess.
Basically, I mean, language is a form of communication, and communication basically allows people various backgrounds to share information and ideas. And um, if you don't have proper in dealing with racism as well, if you don't have proper codification to convey certain aspects or concepts of the matter, all you're going to have is confusion. So
Mm,
I think, a lot of it's just like when you hear people talk about just using the word racism. Like Gus always talks about racism and white supremacy as synonymous, it's one and the same thing. Where when you hear in mainstream media, they present racism as, oh, it can be either black racism or white racism. That right there is an example of miscommunication.
mm,
Because, when we say, like, us three, we're talking about racism. We're talking about a global system that, you know, characterizes the power structure that is backed by, people who classify themselves as white. That language, using proper language is gonna, pinpoint exactly, gives a lot more clarity as to what ideas and thought, speech, and action you're trying to convey. I could be wrong though.
I feel you. What you think, Courtney?
Um, for a while, I actually had an issue with people using um language, like saying that not having an understanding of language is really what's holding us back. But now that I really think about it, and now that I've come across certain things, I would have to agree that it actually is a barrier. The way that we say certain things, just not understanding simple basic things. You don't think it's important, but it actually really is.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's important for us to get to a point where we do understand these things. Especially when we talk about like the justice system. If you can't understand basic language, then how could you ever be in a position where you have quote unquote justice, or that you understand what it means to have that or to fight for it if you can't understand legal terms and law? Those things, that language is very sophisticated and it's very difficult to comprehend. So I would agree that it's important for us to understand words, how to use them effectively, and in a way that could I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my computer was messing up. I think understanding language is extremely important, and I think that it's important for us to be in a place where we could understand it in a way that we can use it to our advantage, and use it in a way that we could establish things for ourselves and be in a position to actually progress. I don't think people think it's that important, but it really is.
Mm. I want to say this about language, you dig? That one of our elders, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., he talks about language and he says that, we need to create words that reveal truth ourselves, because white people are not going to do that, or no other people, Asians, Arabs, none of them, because they don't give a fuck. And we have ample evidence to suggest that, right? So I want to play a couple of sound clips, and this is in regards to why I be banging on that man and woman shit, right? Because one thing I think that we don't understand that white people do in this society is they differentiate between biological sex and gender. Now, when they're talking about biological sex, that comes from biology, right? And they're talking about the stages that you go through as a male and a female, right? When you get over to gender, they're talking about roles that are pre fucking they have pre connotations on what you supposed to do as a boy leading up to a man, and a girl leading up to a woman. And these things are fixed. It's like the goddamn Bible. You understand me? And if you don't cut it as far as what white people define these things as, you are not a man, you're not a woman, right? So I want to get into some conversations that I came across with us having conversations, and then we could talk about it afterwards. Here we go.
You black men got to get your game right and be on top of the world. You're men just like white men are, just like Asian men are, just like Mexican men are. Y'all just are using the excuse to fail. Why you letting us beat you? That don't make no sense. You guys are men. I mean, what do you think your job is as a man? Just to walk around loving and leaving and dogging? I mean, what do you think your job is as a man? Okay.
If I were your man, I would beat the shit out of you. I would be.
Why?
I would be I would get all types of domestic violence charges. I would.
Why?
I
couldn't. You're my angry black woman. My God.
Listening to you and the disrespect that you have for black men.
Right. So based on that conversation right there, Famo, between a what I would like to refer to as a BAF, or a black adult female, and a BAM, a black adult male, what did you guys get from that?
A hot ass mess.
Damn, what about you, Princess?
I'm sorry.
She had me rolling. That's what Famo do, man. Goddamn. Go ahead, Princess.
Nah, I'm just listening to my dad talk. I don't. I just. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I can't comment on that.
Okay. Let me attempt to unpack it a little bit more, right? this is how I like to talk about this shit, and I damn sure could do a better job because I might not be as clear as I possibly could be. I'm a concede that right off the goddamn back, right? Now, I started to think about what when we have these conversations that become motherfucking arguments and shit amongst baths and bams. What is the common denominator in those conversations? And what I've seen is motherfuckers identifying as men and women. And for me, it got me to thinking. It got me to thinking about, when I was heavy into sports and when I see other people who are heavy into sports now, how they will get into competition damn near to blows. Sometimes I've seen people fight over someone dissing their team. It creates what they call in psychology a what the fuck they call that shit? I forgot. I'm a victim. But it creates a connection, right? I'll just use that term, a connection. And once you identify as a man in this society, you also identify with your enemy, which is a white man, right? When you identify as a woman, and there's plenty of evidence of this shit, you know what I'm saying? I don't have it right now, but when you identify as a woman, you identify with your enemy, a white woman, right? So now instead of the conversation you're talking about is exclusively about you and yours, now you involve other motherfuckers who don't involve you in their conversations. They can use that term man and woman, but I would like to present to anyone who's listening in the panel that are they really talking about you, or are they talking about themselves amongst themselves? Because mostly we don't listen to those conversations, CNN and all of that kind of shit. Most of us don't pay attention to that shit. So are they talking about us? Are they being inclusive, or are they really talking about themselves amongst themselves? And I've come to the conclusion, unfortunately, that they're talking about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because even in conversations, there's always this determining factor that they stick in there, or qualifier. They will say black woman, black man. But when they have their conversations on their televisions and shit and broadcast it all over the goddamn world, they'll just say men and women. Does that make sense, Famo?
Yes.
And to get me to thinking, you know what? Matter of fact, let's see if I could rally up one more example of this shit to highlight it for us. This is a conversation for us, amongst us. This is not fucking CNN, Bill O'Reilly, none of that shit. We talking to ourselves, right? So let me see if I can give another example. Okay, here we go.
Women are not aware of how many people they've destroyed that came around them.
And men are not aware of all the women that they've destroyed. I mean, all these single mothers, and
you'll say a point.
From one woman to another because you don't like it.
Yeah, sure. Look, you'll talk to a woman. You'll be like, "Wow, this happened over here." Her response is not to talk about what you're talking about. Her response is to talk about something that she could think of bad you did. That's the situation.
So instead of acknowledging what he's saying, no, I think what he's saying is
it's evil and it's calculated. They know what they're doing.
But I think what he's saying is women are not socialized to be accountable.
And men aren't either.
Men.
You see what I'm saying? She did exactly what I said. Instead of talking about what you said,
let's go back.
She said, and men aren't either.
Let's go back. Let's go to Milton. Let's go to Milton.
Finish your point. Finish your
Go
point.
ahead, brother. I ain't trying to cut you off.
No, don't worry about that.
I feel like women.
They can't blame it all on women.
I'm not blaming everything on women.
Thank you.
Or if I said it wrong, let me say this. I feel like a lot of women, maybe that sounds better. A lot of women are evil. I feel like they're born that way. And if they are put in a society like this one, where all of their evil ways are being supported, they're going to run with that and let the nation be destroyed rather than realizing the reason you're able to do this to a man
men turn women into evil
She's not listening to me,
beings.
but I was talking to her.
Men turn women into evil beings.
That's
Come on, sister.
That's a good girl gone bad
Can I ask
syndrome right
I don't
there.
know.
Yeah, just,
She said cheating too.
I mean, I've never been cheated on before, but
Yeah.
that I know of. That I know of.
Oh my God.
That I know of.
Corey left the building.
That I know of. Okay.
He cheating while you here. You don't.
Right. He
Bobby,
getting the
tell
rub
him,
down
Bobby. Tell him, Bobby. Where is he right now? Where is he right now?
No, I don't know enough about this sister.
You don't have to know about her. Where's the man at right now?
No, here's the thing. There are exceptions to every rule, and this might be that long shot right here. But no, it's a possibility. It's always a mathematical possibility, but that's all that it is. But I just want to come back to something she started earlier today when we was watching the 50 Cent thing.
Yeah.
Now, that happens so many times where they'll show a clip or people would, pass information on somebody without the total picture. She described why she got beat up by 50 Cent.
Partially. She partially described.
No, she left out the most important part.
Yes.
And that was she's in a relationship with a violent cat. She knew he was violent. She knew he had multiple women before she met him. She engaged in a relationship with him, became, quote unquote, a homebody. Then she went out and did the one thing that got her ass whooped. And that is cheated on him. And then she sat in that studio and played the victim. And
She didn't cheat on him before she got connected to his money, which is what happens. Once they have a connection to your money, and Jay-Z gonna be the next victim of what I'm talking about right now. When they don't need you no more.
Kanye.
When they don't need you no more, you are done. They have worked you the way they mama taught them to work you, and nobody will say it.
Wow.
Wow. And that's heavy.
If you study their mama, you will see the same situation.
You really hate women, huh?
Uh-oh.
Wow.
This is what we'll do. When
This
we
is
come
so
back,
predictable,
when
what
y'all
you're
hear the
saying.
music,
You
y'all-
hate
wait.
I help black bitches all the time.
We about
They don't even have groceries, and I found groceries.
Oh my God.
Okay,
I do
listen.
things for women.
We're about to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'm a dad and I'm a husband.
Now, the question is, because we're gonna do this in two parts. Does that conversation produce and divisiveness, right? If that's even a word. If it's not, I just made it up. Fuck them, right?
I'm sorry.
Or does it create a connection amongst Baps and Bams? That's the question I want to ask y'all, Famo.
That was extremely divisive. I mean, I don't see how the conversation, how they got to any type of common ground. There was none. It was just men do that, black men do this, and black women do that, and black men do this, and black women do that. And that's it. There was no trying to understand each other or trying to build or... No, it was extremely divisive.
And I want to include something in there before you respond, Princess, that they did not specify black men, black women. They used the terms men and women. I'll leave it right there. Go ahead, Princess.
Nah, that was a nice play you set up there. hmm. Yeah, it was definitely divisive. Um, Nothing that you can be able to pinpoint or be specific about. There is no discussion of why. I feel that a lot of times when we get into these discussions about black males and black females, we always explore the outcomes of our continuous relationships, and but no one ever gets to the backdrop of the story as to what led up to this meltdown between black men or black women, if you will.
Hmm.
black males or black females, however you want to say it. And it just seems like not keeping that in context just keeps it at a revolving cycle of confusion um, and you know, animosity for one another. Really.
I agree with you. You know, and that's what I'm talking about. Identifying with words that have pre-connotations already. This society, these terms defined by white people were here before any of us were fucking born. But we don't think about that at all. We don't think about what they say. Like example, you have a young black male, young black female. They are we were told that and shown, through the propaganda and shit on television and shit. What we see amongst people who we catch through osmosis, through the people who we love, you know, and taught these things directly and indirectly that, okay, this is what a man is supposed to do. This is what a woman is supposed to do. Now, the question becomes, if these things are indeed predefined and shit, and white people are the goddamn reference group for that shit, are there any barriers in our fucking way? You know what I'm saying? Anything that happened in our history here, our sojourn, if you will, are there any things that make us not able to do those things? Any hurdles at all? Whether it's psychologically or motherfuckers doing shit. What you think, Courtney?
Absolutely. Um, yeah. I mean, I think it was funny that in the not in the clip that you just played, but I think one that was before that one, the previous one, where
Hmm.
I'm assuming it's a sister. I don't know. Yeah, I believe it is because she said, "Why can't black men be men? You have white men are men, Mexican men are men," and then she named all of these different different groups of people, right?
Yep.
Men, but they don't all act the same way. I mean, and obviously there's exceptions to every rule, but they don't all operate in the same way. So to use that as an example to me was kind of funny because if you look at the way certain groups of people, especially groups of people that come here from another country, how they operate, how they raise their families, how they live, those types of things, it's not the same as the way a white man does. So I don't know what kind of a example she was trying to or correlation she was trying to make between all of those different men and black men. All of those men are different. They act differently. They do things differently. And we're the only group of people that I think we don't really have a way of doing things that's really our own. We want to say that we do, but just like I think the point that you're making, when we think about the qualities that a woman should have and the qualities that a man should have, it really is based on the qualities that white women and white men have. Those boundaries and those qualities that they set. So I thought that was interesting that she said that.
That's right. And I'm glad you pointed that out because I was going to point it out. The first motherfucker she said was white man. Now, either that means something or it doesn't. I think it does. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the reference group. When I say the reference group, I mean the group within a society that is influential on every other group within that society, right? And I think that's very fucking interesting. Very fucking interesting, because what it does psychologically, in my view, I could be wrong. Everybody listening, I could be wrong. I don't speak in definites, because I don't have the fucking answers. Don't come to me on Facebook or any goddamn thing asking me, then what's the answers then? I'm gonna say I'm probably not going to respond to you, because I don't. I'm just analyzing here. However, what it does is it makes me look at you as a bath through the lens and look at you as a white woman, and it makes you look at me in terms of a white man. So what we'll do is we'll finish the conversation that these BAMs and BAFs were this was actually one BAF, one black adult female, and several BAMs having a conversation with her about a book that she wrote, right? And we'll just finish that up, and then we'll conclude our conversation on how these fucking linguistic fallacies, if you will, that we fucking use unknowingly affect us.
And after 16 years, his wife cheats. Lewis Lewis just recently has been diagnosed with depression.
Oh, wow.
He's been losing weight and didn't understand why.
He overachieved in the dating game. He married somebody that feel like they can do better than him, and that's what happens to a lot of people.
But that psychological emotional damage is powerful
and
too,
men,
and I think women are more
men
adept at it.
upgrade too all the time.
I could have told you what you was going to say, but look, check this out. The only women, I'm telling you guys, in this predicament we in America right now, the only women you can save are your daughters. You have to get at them while they're young, and you have to let them see.
But you're not around.
You're
on to the next.
Damn.
That's not true.
Okay,
You got four baby mamas.
All of us?
No.
Are you
but
married?
I'm sure.
Wait a minute, you're not married and you got a book called
She said,
Happy Wife, Happy Life?
I'm sure I got 4 baby mamas.
No,
Are you
I'm
married?
divorced. I'm divorced.
Of course you did.
Happy
I
wife.
filed divorce.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Of course you did. Your life.
Let's hold up the book
Your
here.
life
My life is what?
reflects
Happy
your
wife,
divorce.
happy life.
I have a
Everything.
great life, boo boo.
I believe you got a good life. You got your little thin sliced book in here, you hustling.
Yes, because
Life is swell for you.
very well.
When I saw that book, I knew who you were. I was like, that ain't no book. You could have wrote that on the plane. Just coming from Chicago. That ain't no book.
It's for
Since you want to attack
short
people,
attention span.
that's not a book.
It's for men that have short attention span.
That is about
Like
a
you.
week of tweets.
Like you.
That's a week of tweets.
Of tweets. Okay, that's enough.
Whatever, Corey.
Let's not destroy the only woman we have on the
He
panel.
can never destroy me.
Yeah,
listen,
your
never.
face look destroyed.
Listen,
right
this beautiful woman
Your whole
is the only woman
I'm
we
not even-
have
I'm
here
not
on
even
the
gonna go
panel.
there.
We have
You
to
can't
protect
go there
our
'cause you
women.
don't know nothing about me.
I don't want to go there.
All right. Okay,
I
so
don't wanna go
let's
there.
end it
I
right
don't
here.
argue with fools. You know.
Okay,
No,
I'm
he's
full.
a comedian.
Isley,
But
look here. Isley,
He's a
a
comic.
semi-retarded
Right here. You
person
and I.
can read that book.
right here. Isley,
You
right
can't.
here. Corey, hold on a second. Right here, Isley.
Court system so they can hustle money from you and your spouse. But most of the time, you know what I'm saying, it just wind up being the man. If you a man who takes care of a woman, you pay for her lawyer, you pay for the fees that come with slapping the shit out of her. I mean, well, you're not supposed to curse or whatever. But
It's
I'm just
fine.
saying,
You've already done it.
when you take on a woman that has no money, or if a woman takes on a man that have no money, that should be illegal, because you're going to take on all the cost of the violence that's going to come, because if you are with somebody that ain't got nothing, they're going to be mad at you because you got something.
Uncle Bobby.
I think it's real important that we look at this fairly, and that is men have always, from the beginning of time, been hunters and gatherers and defenders. And anytime we feel threatened, whether it's from what comes out of a woman's mouth or the circumstances around that, we're going to react physically. And women have a special responsibility when they deal with men to understand that threshold. And when he looks at you a certain way, shut it down. No, you don't. You done been talking all day and you have said things, sister. You have said that. You talking now.
That could have
You
resulted.
talking now. And I had before the period. Not before the period.
But I think
You don't understand.
Not before the period.
See, I was gonna get to the period. She didn't even let me get to the comma. All right. I didn't even get to the comma. Well, I still do, because it's important that I respect her, as she said. And when I'm talking, don't be talking when I'm talking. Let me finish, then rebut what I got to say, but don't cut me off and don't dismiss the fact that I got a right.
That's how she used to
That
do her
is the
husband.
point. You have to be respectful if you want respect.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
I agree with that, and that comes with abuse as well, because you can't hear somebody when they're yelling at you, and when you're talking over them, you are totally dismissing them. He can't even come back with formulating his sentence. Therefore, he's disrespected from the beginning, and then he's going to react to that. Nobody's having a conversation, and the listeners are not sure who's even saying what.
Dr. G.
Something that we're missing here is it's not that men won't absorb violence. Underneath all violence is a refusal to feel powerless. Because what's underneath a lot of violence is impotent rage. And a lot of people refuse to feel that. So when a woman is feeling powerless, you are not listening to me, you are not agreeing with me. What's the tough thing for a man to absorb is her feeling powerless, and then it provokes the man, and men go nuts when someone's saying you are powerless. And it's the powerlessness inside men that causes them to become violent.
I just feel like we dodging the truth. This young lady, in my opinion, is a typical woman in American society.
Let him finish.
I'm just saying, when I'm looking for a woman, I know chances are I'm gonna find somebody like that. That's why you pay them. That's the only thing that it's the only thing that calm them down. When they in a situation where they ain't got much and you can give them a couple of dollars, it's almost like you see it. It's like they be like, oh, okay, it's help. I can use him. I can be phony with him for a little while because he's helping me financially.
Now let her finish.
Corey, I see that you really hate to lose an argument. I mean, I don't think you hate women. You just hate to lose an argument, and then you just, you become vicious. And it's not cool though, because I've seen your comedy. I've been there, and
he's hilarious.
No, she's not. She don't think I'm funny.
You don't think he's funny?
Because I'm talking about girls like her.
That's all. His whole show.
The guy is funny now.
His whole show is like dogging out women. So I mean, why would I like that? I mean, I'm pro woman.
Apparently,
a lot of women come see me though, and they support me. They buy my stuff.
His show is awful.
Grimes.
They won't buy that book though.
Let's go. There we go. Let's go back to Grimes.
Is this a map of confidence?
No, we gonna skip all of the fucking laughter. You feel me? Cause this shit is some real shit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about. Now, a couple things I want to point out before I ask y'all to respond. Right? Is the woman who came in on the phone that sounded like it was a phone call, right? That was a white woman. I want to put that out there. The one who was talking when the BAM said, yeah, you got to show respect to give. That was a white woman, right? The other one was that when the BAF said that I am pro-woman. She did not say, I am pro-black woman. She said, I'm pro-woman. In lies the tie between her and her fucking enemies, whether she recognizes it or not. She's speaking for all women, right? The third thing is the response from the guy who the BAM said, Dr. G, and he was talking about so-called impotent rage. Right? We've heard that from Neely Fuller Jr. when he said that the most impotent being on this planet, which I agree with, is a black male. Right? Now, why did I bring up the fact that he said fucking impotent rage, right? Let's see if this would be classified as impotent rage.
I would beat the shit out of you. I would be so
Why?
I would be I would get all types of domestic violence charges. I would.
Why?
I couldn't.
Because my angry black woman, my God.
listening to you and the disrespect that you have for black men.
Women are
Right. Right. And by the way, we're talking about behaviors here, but I will say, if you guys don't know, that was Tariq Nasheed, producer of Hidden Colors. However, I'm not talking about him because that shit is weak as fuck. Is weak. It just proves how pathetic we are by calling each other's names and shit like that. Epithets that we make up for each other that way surpass the names that white people call us, right? But we will talk about behaviors, our behaviors on this goddamn platform that white people allow me to have. Hi, white people, if you're listening to this shit. At any rate, what say y'all?
I'm sorry, repeat that. Repeat the question again.
Which part?
The last part.
Oh, I was talking about when the BAM asked for the opinion of Dr. G, which was a white man, and his response was, these things happen because of, conflict happens because of impotent rage amongst so-called men in this society, right? Now, if we understand that the reference group is the white man, you know what I'm saying? It seems like it could be applicable that BAMs, black adult males, are bred to follow the protocols of white men, which we can't fill them goddamn shoes, right? And then I played a sound clip of Tariq Nasheed speaking about beating a bath up because of the disrespect for so-called black men. Courtney?
I'm here. I'm actually thinking about what you said.
Okay. You want me to come back to you? You think
Yes.
a little bit?
Yeah.
Princess, what do you have to say about what we just listened to?
It's really, really. I don't know. No.
I definitely understand. The only reason why I'm bringing this shit out is these are things that you will not hear in our so-called conscious community, right? We're trying to fit some shoes. If I was to use an analogy, we're trying to fit some shoes that don't fit us. And if we're using an analogy to talk about our females, you're trying to put on some size 5 jeans and you're a size 14. We just don't fit. That's not to say that we can't create our own shit and our own codes on how to behave or attempt to behave, right? Because this shit been happening for a long time. White people have fucked us up. So we're not going to forego that. We're not going to just sit back and be like, nah, I'm good. No. We crazy as shit. In my view, I could be wrong. But that's my assessment. White people have done a great job. So for us to even put ourselves in the light of men and women within this society, how they frame it, we can't even operate in that realm. Not on a mass scale, we can't. And even those who do attempt to operate on that scale, maybe they get some riches or whatever and shit, they end up the ghost, if you will, of the past end up coming and hunting them because they're crazy as dog shit, just like our ancestor. Our ancestor just passed. We want to have a moment of silence for Dr. Francis Cresswell Singh. So What she said was that there's no such thing as a sane black person. Either that's true or it's not. And I think that the fighting, the infighting that comes with us, one of the biggest things is the classification and associating ourselves with these titles, because I call them titles, because my name is different than a fucking man. You know, you guys' names are different than a fucking woman. These are titles, which means that you must perform a function, right? We can't fit those motherfucking shoes. We attempt to, but primarily we see the disarray that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it would be, it possibly may be beneficial for us to come up with different motherfucking terminology so that we can pass it on to the baby so that they won't feel fucking so corralled into trying to live up to white people's expectations, because at the end of the day, they're not our expectations. We're descendants of slaves. I'll yield there. Y'all tell me what y'all got to say about that.
I think for at least me, I think I have a problem with just trying not to react to it from an emotional standpoint because it just I can't go into details right now, but it just just trying to check myself and as far as how I react to things like this when I'm doing stuff, I think it's kind of hard.
I appreciate you for, putting that out there too, because, even that's hard, just like it's hard for a lot of us to say, I don't know. We'll make up any goddamn thing. So even that in and of itself shows that you are less confused, because you semi understand, just like me, that these things are operating and certain emotions come out. So, definitely I appreciate you. If other people who may listen to this don't, I definitely appreciate you for, saying that, Princess. What about you, Courtney? You there, Courtney? You got your mic on mute.
I'm sorry, I was talking too. What I was gonna say, it isn't really a direct response to the question that you asked, but it's just something that I was thinking about as I was listening to the different clips. We talk a lot about classifications, and I think we don't really realize that, like black people in this country, we're considered a minority, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like we were talking about language and words and the importance of understanding them. And whenever I think of that, I think about, like, how when it's a group of your friends, when you were maybe younger or whatever, you may have wanted to go somewhere and it was like, okay, we're all going to take a vote, and the majority wins, the minority loses.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're considered the minority, and on a global scale, the funny thing is, on a global scale, white people are the minority. They're not the majority. But
Mm-hmm.
we get told that we're the minority, and pretty soon they're not going to be the majority in this country. I believe they're not right now, but I'm not sure about the numbers and everything. But if you're a minority here in this country, then what does that mean? If majority rules, right? These are things this is just the things that we've been, taught. What does it mean to be a minority? are you ever really going to be considered in the big scheme of things? There's a reason why we are called, to me, why we are called minorities. And it doesn't really just have to do with number. There's a certain feeling that you get when you classify yourself as a minority. So if you see yourself as a minority and as not being a part of the majority, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to assimilate to the majority. You're gonna try to do the things that you think the majority does. So even if we have these kinds of conversations, I think that way of thinking about ourselves as being a smaller number or a smaller group or smaller actually is gonna carry on even when we try to do something that we think will be progressive. So that conversation on that particular show could have gone a completely different way. They could have talked about the things that they felt as being a black man or a black woman. They could have talked about the experiences that they had, and they could have been honest with each other. But it could have been done in a way where they could have actually walked away with something and established something, or the people that were listening, it would have made them think and say, hey, maybe I need to consider this. Because maybe some of the things that they felt aren't untrue, but it wasn't going to be constructive based on the way that they were going about talking to each other. And at the very end, it almost was like the white man and the white woman came, and it kind of had a little bit more order and structure based on the things that they said, which I found to be very interesting. Like
Yes.
they seemed to bring clarity to a situation that had absolutely nothing to do with them because they'll never understand it because they don't live it. So those are my thoughts. Maybe not exactly a direct answer, but just the things that I was thinking of as I was listening.
It's all good. Those were good thoughts right there. Mom and daddy came in and brought goddamn structure where there was none. Let's be honest about that shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not biological mothers and fathers, but socially. They're like the motherfucking parents. And then some of us walk around with this old feel good shit. We the mamas and the daddies of the world, right? Well, goddamn, isn't that indicative of the the situation we find ourselves in now? Some of us, where the kids run the damn house. That's supposed to make us feel good. So, I wanted to talk about something that you brought up, Courtney, when you said the majority versus the minority, right? We can take, there are some of us who understand that white people globally are the minority, and we are have larger numbers than them. However, when we go over to goddamn the continent, white people running that shit mostly. You have other groups in there trying to stake their claim, but primarily white people run that shit. They're the minority there, and they run that shit. So it's kind of asinine when I hear us have these conversations about, in 2050, black and brown people will be the majority. What the fuck kind of sense does this make? Does it make sense? Or do we just want it to make sense because white people put that out there? Is that propaganda? To make a motherfucker feel some kind of way? Is it kind of like religion? Where they say, hey, wait for your pie in the sky. Is this the pie in the sky on the goddamn earth? Talking about, hey, in 58, in 2050, we won't even be the majority, Then you guys will have your chance. Is that what they're doing? I don't trust them. Yes, If there are white people who run this Google Hangout platform, if you're listening, yes, I don't trust you. Yes, I don't believe you. You need more people, right? What do y'all think about that? That whole concept, like, is this another fucking game that they're playing with us by saying these kind of things, even though the evidence suggests that that shit don't mean nothing.
I mean, yeah, because like I said, minority to call someone a minority when they're really not,
Mhm.
we're really not the minority. But what does that mean when you think of yourself as a minority?
Mhm.
What does it mean? There's a certain, I mean, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but there's a certain um feeling you get when you think of yourself that way. And it's not like, oh, I'm a good feeling. It's not like I'm special, I'm different. It's like you don't really count.
Mhm.
You don't count. If you're the minority, you don't count. So to say, oh well, one day, 20, 30 years from now, white people will no longer be the majority. But just like you said, then it's like, oh well, I could look forward to 20, 30 years from now when I'm not the little person who doesn't count anymore, because there'll be more of me than you. But there's already more of us than them. And there's places, like you said, there's places in the world where there's more of us than them, and they still run it. South Africa, that's one good example. They run that, and they've
Great,
been running it,
great
and they were
example.
outnumbered greatly there. So I think that's something that you brought up before. So I don't want to take credit for that, but they're not the majority in Africa, but they run it. So what does being the majority or the minority really mean? It's just, to me, it's just a tool of brainwashing.
That's right. That's right. Mm, that's a good point. What say you, Princess?
Um, I didn't at first I couldn't recognize voices getting into the conversation, but I think just listening to how Courtney explained it and the context you're putting it in, coming around to understanding the overall point about dealing with the reference that black females and males we refer to whenever we're talking about the quote black man, black woman issue. I think it kind of makes it really flawed and complicated, but I don't know. I'm still evolving.
We right here with you, famo. Come on, we listening. We listening. Let it out. We listening, famo.
No, it's just I just really have a problem in um, just hearing disrespectful guys, and nowadays it just seems like it's most black males, they do it with such finesse, and they get applauded for it. So it's I just don't understand. I guess if you I guess from what it's a clip that Neely Fuller is on when he's talking to this white woman, and she doesn't realize that she's a racist, and he talks to her about the Vietnam War and how traditionally white males, they have that sexual issue when they come in contact with non-white females all across the globe. And it just seems like um, with that type of historical fact and you would think that at least in this day and age, black males will have more reverence for their own women, because I don't know. I don't know. I can't articulate it right now, but it just bothers me that the woman hating that I've seen and been around, I just mm,
Mm, I definitely, Famo, definitely. You know, you know, one thing I would like to add about that, they brought it up, and some white people wrote a fucking book called The White Man's Burden. I'm sure Princess is familiar with it. If she didn't read it, she's familiar with it. Maybe even Courtney. Um, Kind of my assessment of this shit is a lot of times white people engage in what they like to call bestiality. I don't I have a hard time differentiating between them fucking us and looking at us like they're fucking animals. What do you guys think about that?
well, I've always, I mean, they've always associated us with animalistic terms, and so I don't see a difference. I guess that they they want to, when they say they want to go back to the way things were. I purely believe them. Um, wasn't called chattel slavery for nothing.
Wow. Wow. What about you, Courtney? What you think about that?
Um, I agree. Um, it's just funny because lately I've been reading a lot, and some of the books that I've come across, I believe I spoke about one book called Black Like Me. I think the author, his name is John Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
It's either John Griffith or John Griffin, and he basically during the early 60s, maybe the late 50s, he took some medication where which made his skin dark, and he basically traveled through the South as a black man. And one of the things that he highlights in his book is uh the overwhelming amount of white men that he came across that expressed the desire to sleep with black women. Um, how in one city, I believe it might have been New Orleans, he kind of disguised himself as a shoe shine. And one of the things that his customers would ask was if he knew any colored girls that would have sex with them. Um, it was one of the things that he got asked very uh, often, and he also said that when he would go hitchhiking and when he would get picked up by these white men, especially at night, some of them would always want to talk to him about sex. They always wanted to say, well, we hear, or we know that black men are really really good in bed. You know what I mean? That they're well endowed. And one man expressed to him that he hired maids, and one of the things that the maids had to do, obviously they were black, one of the things that the maids had to do was sleep with him, or they couldn't keep the job. And that he felt as if he was doing them a favor because if he got the maid pregnant, then she had a half white child. So, um, it's kind of like this thing that's like even even today where we assume that this is something, interracial dating and marriage, we assume that it's something that's become more of a norm. It's still a very taboo thing. um and I've experienced it myself. It's the way a white man will look at me if he's attracted to me is completely different than the way a black man will. It's very animalistic. It's very um less driven. It's not the same kind of thing. And I believe that that's part of it. I believe it's a taboo attached to it, but it's because we're really not seen as being human beings. It's still that kind of sneaky back alley energy behind it. So I would 100% agree. Bestiality. You kind of don't want to think about it that way, but I think it for a lot of white people, especially now living in the South, it kind of probably is walking along those lines in their mind when they think about sleeping with a black person. Definitely.
Mm, mm, mm. Couldn't have said it no better, Famo. Now I want everybody who may listen to this to, don't just dismiss this because it's anecdotal evidence. The Famo is expressing to you how she felt, right, wrong, or indifferent. This is how she felt. This is her experience. You know what I'm saying? This is Princess's experiences. You feel me? We can't walk around disregarding this shit as if white people don't use anecdotal evidence. What the fuck you think statistics are? They go around and get anecdotal evidence from a few people. And then we sit up there and call it facts. And the question I would have is, did they interview you? They ain't interview me for no goddamn statistics. Okay? I just want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying?
If I can just add that, what a lot of people don't understand is that when they take statistics, it's actually based on like a formula. It's really not them interviewing a whole bunch of people. It's like a formula that they use. So really, you think that the statistics that they use is accurate, but it's really not. It's a pretty much a small group, and they times it by a certain number, and then that's how they get their figure. It's not based on a lot of the time. I can't speak for every time. It's not based on accurate figure. So, of course, you still there?
That's right. That's right. Let me see if I can pull up some shit. As white people like to say, pull something out my ass, you know, to kind of convey, what I'm talking about. And I want to say this, get your head out the goddamn gutter. We use all things because one of the activities of people activity is fucking sex. They dominate our ass in that area as well. Now either that's true or it's not. Now let me see if this is with this clip coincide with that.
So we've been walking around like for about an hour now, and we kind of tucked into this little.
I'm gonna fast forward
section here to like glue them on now.
I know, my little real life pasties.
Look at that. That's like the first pasties ever.
Oops.
You know
I'm gonna lick them.
That's a good idea. That's a fucking perfect idea. Works. It fucking works. Look at that. These are the first pasties ever.
This is what Eve was like, you know what? My nipples are cold.
That's what Eve is like. These are two white people.
This is like high fashion couture.
We can make an entire outfit.
Fuck it. Just leave it there. So what you been up to, Katie?
Nothing. Just came from Vegas.
Really?
To see all my peeps.
Oh, wow. Is it hot out there?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Peeps.
It's like 10 degrees hotter there.
See her peeps. Let's see who our peeps is. You dig?
I'm like determined to make these sick.
See that. Wow,
I'll just lean back.
You did it. Fucking did it. I love those pasties. And what about pussy too? Ooh.
I need a piece down there.
Oh my god, look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, I have a little spot that we're going to use today. It's like a block up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're getting me into trouble.
Let's head to the spot
Let's do it.
and let's see what we can get cracking.
I know.
Okay.
I'm excited to see what you have.
I got some for you.
Let's see what you have. Pay attention to the language. Let's see what you have. It's a white woman talking to a white man.
Friend's house. Yeah, I have a friend. She's actually at work right now, and she says we can use her spot.
Does she know?
She knows we're here. She knows. So let's go ahead and use her spot. So what you been up to?
Let's use it. Nothing. Just hanging out, getting into naughty fun.
Oh my God.
This is nice.
Yeah, she's got a cool little room.
Oh.
So for all those who have been living under a rock, your name is Katie Cox.
My name is Katie Cox.
And how old are you?
I'm 25.
25 years old.
Yes.
I love it.
I am.
And how big are these beautiful kitties?
Big enough to go around. They're like a 36 triple D.
God damn.
Bam.
That's what's up. So what do you like to do? What's
I
your
like
thing?
like long walks on the beach. No.
Horny.
I don't know. Like let's see. When I'm not fucking, for my job, I like to fuck all the time in my personal life.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking about her dog.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do when you fuck? Like, what's your thing?
What's my thing? My thing is like cheating on my husband.
Oh my God.
That's a huge thing.
Well, I love helping.
Please help.
I love that.
Physicians need apply.
Oh my God. What about sucking coffee?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is a cock? Is a
believe
cock
so.
a fucking bird?
I do.
Is it a
I've
chicken?
never had any complaints. Only.
Listen to the language, famo.
Really?
Yeah. And you know, I'm constructive criticism. If I'm doing something you don't want me to do, please let me know.
Wow.
If there's something I could be doing better, let me know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
I like sloppy blowjobs. Like sometimes I get really sloppy, and then sometimes like I don't know, not a lot. Sometimes I have like an overabundance of spit, and I love it like that.
I love that.
And then sometimes I don't know why I don't.
So check it out. I noticed that when we first in the car, you had like a mocha. You got it from like a.
I just got it from like 7-Eleven. It's like my new drink. It's like these Starbucks double shots plus coffee plus energy drink.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the ultimate.
So it's like a mocha drink.
Yeah.
Really? It's pretty good?
So good.
Really?
I drink it every day.
So you like those big old mocha drinks?
I love them big and tall and big.
And what do they call them when you order them like at Starbucks? What do they call them? Verte? What's the tall one called?
Vente.
Vente. Okay. So
Varte.
Varte.
Vente, it's all the same.
So what does that mean, large?
I believe so. Yeah, and it's funny because like grande is like a small.
Small. Stupid, huh? Yeah.
Weird.
So you like the mocha ventes, huh?
I do like the mocha drink.
So that was the funny thing about it. When I picked you up today, and before we drove around and did our drive-by photography session, I said to myself, I texted my boy. I said, "Wow, wait a minute, you'll never believe who have in the car here." And I told him, I said,
Listen to the language, famo. Let's see who his boy is.
She's got a vente mocha drink. So that must mean, you know what I mean?
Of course.
I put two and two together.
Must mean.
It must mean. So he's here. I invited him over here. Yeah, he's here.
Oh, I knew you were up to no good.
Oh,
You wanna
who
go
the
and
hell
meet
is
him,
he?
We can have like a little conversation and you can tell him about how you like
I'm pretty
mocha,
thirsty.
mocha vente.
Let's see who this boy
Yeah, where is he?
You want to do that?
I do. Bring him on.
He's out in the other room.
I'm thirsty.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hold on, wait.
Come on, I'm jumping the gun. I'm like,
Katie, let me go ahead. Let me see that drink you was. Let me see that drink. Yeah, you notice they put tape all over it. I'm saying we can't give any.
This
free
is a
promotion.
non-name brand drink.
We can't give any free promotion, but where's the mocha at? Let me see. Like
Mocha.
There it is, mocha.
And it's a big brown can.
Yeah, it's the vente can.
It's a big brown can.
Yeah.
So we're here in the backyard, and you got your mocha drink, and let me introduce you to my boy right here.
I've heard a lot about you.
Mr. Pipes.
What's up, baby?
Hi, how are you?
Listen to his boy.
Give me a hug.
I know, what is this?
Some gangster shit.
So we out here, and yeah, I was basically, when I texted you earlier, I told you that Katie Cox was in the car with me, and I told her she was drinking like a venti Which is, I
He
guess
assumed I like
which
black
means-
eyes
which
because
means
I'm
large.
drinking a mocha.
Yeah, and I assumed.
A mocha.
I assumed.
Large drink.
I said she must love black eyes if she's drinking a large mocha drink. So, yeah, I mean.
Connection between a nigger and a motherfucking mocha drink.
I'm not too dark,
Like
bro.
Mexican.
He's like double mocha.
Oh, double shot.
Double shot. Okay, but there you go. Perfect.
So if they want a double shot, that's the dark skin.
There you go. Exactly. Exactly.
I can work with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can work with that.
So she said that she likes cheating on her husband.
I
And,
do.
she
It's my
likes
favorite
fucking
pastime.
and-
She's married. How old are you?
25.
And married? For real? I mean, this is for real shit, or is this in the script?
No, is this for
This is
real?
for real.
Oh,
For real shit.
Are you for really married?
Yeah, I'm for really married.
For really.
Really.
See that shit? Making fun.
Hanging around too many
Oh.
Excuse me.
For really, home.
Yeah, all right, for really.
For really.
Oh, hold on.
I know.
Married.
Let's
Shout
see.
out to my
Really
South Siders.
Let's see how he apologizes for our language. Let's go back a bit.
Exactly.
I can work with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can work with that.
So she said that she likes cheating on her husband.
I
and,
do.
She
It's my
likes
favorite
fucking
pastime.
and-
She's married. How old are you?
25.
And married? For real? I mean, this is for real shit, or is this in the script?
No, is this for
This is
real?
for real.
Oh,
For real shit.
Are you for really married?
Yeah, I'm for really married.
For really.
For really.
Excuse my ebonics.
Hanging around too many Mexicans.
Excuse me.
For really, home.
Yeah, all right, for really.
For really.
Yes, I'm
I
really
know.
married.
Shout out to my
Really
South
likes
Siders. For really, home. All right, that's cool.
What's wrong? What happened? What was
The
it?
bee. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, I don't
It's
do
all right.
it that
No
very
problem.
Damn, I didn't know she was married for real.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Did you think I was joking that whole conversation?
You stupid nigger. Did you think I was
You
joking?
know, porno, they have a script. Huh?
No, I know.
So, this is Mr. Venti himself.
Mr. Venti Mocha.
Yeah. You know?
So we'll end that shit right there. What's y'all thoughts on that?
I think Francis Cress Wilson would have been all over that one.
All
Yes.
fucking over it. You understand me? Man.
As soon as she said that she drank a tall mocha venti, I knew that she was bringing the black eye in. That was, I already knew that. Now, the fact of the matter is, you could tell, and like I said, this is why I believe that Francis Cress Wilson would have been all over this. You could hear obviously that there was some ways that they were trying to, obviously play the black eye, low key, do some racist shit. But at the same time, you could hear the insecurity in the white guy's voice. He said, when I saw her drinking the mocha drink, I knew that she would prefer a black guy. And everything they spoke about in terms of the black guy was bigger. Oh, well, she wants a double shot of that.
Double shot.
It's kind of like, I mean, it was kind of crazy when you really think about it. A lot of the symbolism that they used, and also the way that they spoke. When she was speaking to him, she asked him what he had, and he said he had this and he had that. But they also, when the black guy came in, they brought up the fact that she was married and that basically she'd be cheating. So there was like kind of like that hint of having sex with him is equivalent to doing something that's immoral. It's wrong. It's taboo. Why didn't she bring up the fact that she was married when it was just her and the white guy?
Fucking with a boy. You're my boy. Where's it at?
But you also see that in the course of that conversation, especially once the black guy came into the picture, the way that the white man carried himself, it seemed very insecure. It seemed very much like he knew that he kind of wasn't that tall mocha double shot. He knew that. He said, I figure you prefer black guys. I figure you like black guys. based on a drink that she had. And she also said, well, I drink it because it gives me a lot of energy. So I thought that that was very interesting too. Are you there, off code? Hello? Anybody there?
I'm here.
I don't know what happened to him. Probably come back in a minute. Well, what did you think about it, Princess?
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know that was what it was until like 5 minutes
Oh,
in, because I was
yeah,
texting.
I kind of figured it out later on, but
Yeah, because at first I thought it was a TV show.
well, when he started asking her about her measurements, that's when I realized, oh, okay.
Yeah, like
But
inches.
yeah, Oko kind of said, because he said, well, sex is, one of the things that they use just as well. So I thought it would have something to do with that, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part, so
Oh, okay, yeah, he.
I was just like, "Whoa, how did is this
Yes,
another
yes.
hangout?"
Yeah.
No, 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 no. This that uncomfortable truth. You know what it is, famo.
No, I
We
was
gonna
just
explore all of that
telling
shit.
Courtney I didn't hear the part where you was talking about Area 8, and for the first like 5 minutes at least, I thought it was like a TV show, and I was
It
like,
was a goddamn TV show.
"Oh,
A goddamn sex TV show video.
Yeah, it's an adult movie.
yeah, you know."
I see.
And you hear her talking about Adam. You hear her talking about she's Eve and shit. You know what I'm saying? Where, my man, hey, I got a boy. You know what I'm saying? I want to introduce you to my boy. And then he apologizes for his language, our language. Oh, I'm sorry for my ebonics. Right?
But what about the fact that the white guy said that he knew that she liked black guys because she was drinking the tall, dark mocha latte?
That's right. Dr. Francis Chris, you was right. She have a field day with that shit. But you know what? I suspect that no one ever brought that to her attention. Maybe out of some sort of delusional respect. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I don't think she would have had a problem with that. Like how I presented it to y'all. You know what I'm saying? She know motherfuckers cuss and shit. You ain't got to show her the video. Give her the audio. But she not here for us to have her on here and decipher this shit. So, we can take what we learned from her and shit and analyze this shit. You feel me? We can't let that die, right?
Absolutely not.
Princess say she was like, God damn, what's going on? I mean, shit,
I was temporarily confused. I do apologize.
like talking about unicorns and shit. I mean, what they talk about? Unicorn with the heart on? Oh shit, damn. I mean, this is just some real shit, man. That's the kind of shit y'all know. That's what I fucking bring. You know what I'm saying? I ain't scared of that shit. Motherfuckers want to talk some shit. I give them a goddamn disclaimer. Get your head out the goddamn gutter. We need to analyze this shit. We are not sophisticated enough. You know what I'm saying? We need to fucking rock out. Not all this goddamn bullshit talk we do on these hangouts, unfortunately. Let's explore it. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no goddamn taboo. People fuck all the time. Alright? Ain't no pussies around here. I mean, I was, I'll concede that I was raised a pussy because I was around literally a lot of pussies. You know, literally speaking, females. And that influenced me. But I'm trying to beat the hell out of that motherfucker. Beat his ass and that white man that the motherfuckers put up inside of me. You dig? Fuck him and that pussy nigga. So that we can talk about it. So, um, that seems like it was kind of uncomfortable.
I mean, it's real though, and I think in all honesty, and the things that I've read and listening to that clip, I think that's the realest that you see people when it comes to sex. When you have
That's
these
right.
other kinds of conversations, like, you played the clip, you said it's Tariq Nasheed. Well, no one's talking about sex. So, people are going to be a little different. But people are real when it comes to sex. People let out their insecurities, and you get to see the things that they really want and the things that they find to be taboo when it comes to sex. And especially in something like an adult movie, because then that's where all the taboos come out. All the little perversions and things like that, because they're marketing those
Let,
things.
let me share something with y'all, right? I watched the motherfucking flick, and for the listening audience as well. I don't give a fuck what you think about Off Code. I'm from the hood, okay? I'm fucked up. Yes, I watched the goddamn flick, right? And it was a bath. It was two baths actually, and one bam, right? Black at all females, black at all males, right? And what she said blew me back. She was holding his using white people's language cock, right? Which alludes to a fucking animal, right? Bestiality, right? Um, and she said, "Damn, King Kong, King Kong." Either that means something or it don't. I'm just saying.
Mm.
We
Mm.
don't like to have those kind of conversations. Taboo. Fuck that. Ain't no taboos around us. We need to explore all of this shit. We need to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Shout out to Gus T Renegade at the motherfucking cows. If you want to become less confused, check him out. And Justice. Let's not forget Justice. But you know, I think that was a good build. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I appreciate Courtney, my famo, Princess, my famo, being on this hangout to unpack this shit with me. Hopefully people will take it. Hopefully it was constructive. I don't know. Might not have been. If you don't like it, throw that shit like a frisbee. You dig? If you take something from it, do your thing. Help us out. Start these conversations. You feel me? Um, Princess and Courtney, y'all want to add something before we break out this bitch?
Um, I just would like to, thank you for having me on the panel. I thought it was a very interesting build. It was constructive for me, so I'm grateful for that. I'm actually walking away with something, some things to think about that I may not have thought about before. So I thank you for that. It's real as always. Thank you.
Princess.
Well, I thank you for inviting me to the panel as well. And like I said, I'm still evolving to some concepts that we discussed earlier. Um, uh, but overall, like Courtney, I'm definitely walking away with a better understanding of a lot of things, and I guess a greater awareness of how we use certain words and terms, so that way we can better us communicate our thoughts, speech, and action a whole lot more effectively. So, yeah, it was good.
That's what's up. Well, I appreciate having my famo on this bitch. Courtney, Team on set, Siznerp, you dig? This my famo. Y'all under dig. You need to remember that. You know what I'm saying? And we had a good build. You dig? And hopefully it was constructive for the people who may listen to this. I don't know. You let me know. Well, thank y'all for participating. Thank the people who will listen to this for coming out for another ABOD hangout. Until next time, stay uncomfortable.
President, talk to him. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Why? This is the motherfucker mind. Everything is an illusion that you see with your eyes. The third one is open and you see through the lies. Read between the lines, unveil the truth. Inspired with like minds and reveal the proof. Who controls this and who controls that? Symbolism being used, are you aware of that? Nope. You brainwashed from within, disconnected from the matrix, let the programming in. Take a most of movie shit, then you're still plugged in. Microchip for your arm, you can check out. Yep. That one flew right over your head because I know half the planet is mentally dead or mentally sleep. Zombies controlled by the beast. Not me, my Pinot clan is calcium free. Dig it, dig it. Let the truth be told, it's worth its weight in gold. Some sell their souls just to no. Off code, off code, off code, off code, off code. Off code, off code, off code, off code.